are at a crossroads. This is the moment in history where people will look back and say CIOs and AI leaders either made a mistake or they helped put us on a path to greatness.
Right now, there are two equal and opposite errors that we can make with AI. One is to disbelieve in AI's transformative impact because we haven't seen enough of it. The other is to believe it too much, to fall for the hype and visions of magic.
Somewhere in between those two extremes lies greatness, the golden path where value can be found. Today, we will give you a roadmap to walk that path and to find that value.
Welcome to IT Symposium Expo. I'm Alicia Mullery.
And I'm Daryl Plummer.
And you have a lot of things going on right now, like cloud modernization, application modernization, cloud and cybersecurity threats and migration, and now AI. You need to partner with an AI leader to get it all done, because it's just too much to do alone. In 2025, Gartner found the odds of an AI initiative achieving ROI were 1 in 5. And the odds of an AI initiative achieving true transformation are 1 in 50. And I'm sure you've all seen the recent MIT finding that 95% of Gen AI projects and pilots are failing. So when it comes to value, there is cause for concern. And everyone has high expectations of AI. Gartner's latest C-suite survey finds that you, CIOs, are the second most trusted C-suite member in high-growth companies, behind only the CFO. And as AI slides from the peak of inflated expectations toward the trough of disillusionment, being trusted is critical. This is your hero moment.
Heroes are not made at the peak of hype. Heroes are made in the trough. CFOs have told us that 74% of you are getting productivity gains, but the road to value is not paved with productivity wins alone. And value is in the eye of the beholder. In the private sector, value is revenue generation. In the public sector, it's mission success. And all of you want cost reductions. However, only 11% of organizations see clear ROI value. As a CIO, one of the best things that you can do to get value is to take your AI use cases to the next level. But is AI ready? Are you ready? Readiness is the key that unlocks that next level. So here's the headline. While not all AI is ready to deliver value, humans are even less ready to capture value.
AI readiness doesn't mean, can it pass the world's toughest tests, or can it outthink a human? It means, can it help you find value? Can it do what you need your use case to do? Human readiness is about whether you have the right workforce and organization to capture and sustain AI value. In ANZ, 87% of employees are interested in using AI tools, but only 29% are confident in leadership to drive AI transformation.
Have a look at this. In the beginning, AI and humans are not ready. And this is where you should be highly skeptical of AI. But when we cross over a threshold where both are ready, we flip a switch into justified AI optimism. The problem is, you were here, halfway up AI readiness, but only 1/4 of the way along with human readiness. Value is hard to achieve when you're so far out of balance.
And AI readiness grows much faster than human readiness. If all the vendors stopped innovating with AI today, we'd still have years before we could catch up. That's why it feels like we can't keep up. For you to get value, you need to know where, in this picture, each use case falls. Think of each use case as a step on your golden path. This is your You Are Here GPS, and it helps chart your course on the path to value. Wait a minute. the Gartner positioning system. I know, we just couldn't help ourselves.
Think of this like navigating a map. Following the GPS, you'll seek to find, capture, and sustain AI value. And if you're successful, you can transcend your limitations. Today, most organizations have a productivity mindset, but that won't be enough. For example, when AI and human readiness are both low, value is in defending your position. And that's primarily about augmenting employees. Now, this makes up nearly half of all AI investments. The problem here is misplaced expectations. Your organization is expecting one type of value, but investing in another. Now, whether you need ROI, mission success, it doesn't come solely from productivity gains.
When AI readiness is low, it is difficult to see what's ahead. It's like a fog is rolled in and you can no longer see the path. It's hard to know if you are headed in the right direction, which is why it's important to have your GPS to give you a clear view. But if you can navigate it, you will find new sources of AI value.
Now, someone out there is thinking, come on, how can you keep saying AI is not ready? People are getting lots of value from AI, and that is true. But AI technical capabilities, costs, and vendors are all of questionable readiness. So let's start with technical capabilities. That's things such as search, collating data with multiple sources, content generation, summary. We do those things with every day with AI. So let's call those ready. But at this point in the path, what capabilities should concern you the most? 2 points of interest show themselves: AI accuracy and AI agents.
Gen AI has an error rate of up to 25%, depending on the use case. Now, yours might be an organization that can live with that. But what if you're the Australian payments network and require less than a 0.01% rate in payments, error rate? Gartner finds that 84% of CIOs and IT leaders do not have a formal process to track AI accuracy. And in fact, the top approach that's used today is human review. But the human-in-the-loop equation is collapsing on itself. AI can make mistakes faster than we humans can catch them. Or worse, facts themselves can be distorted. Gartner has just published a whole book on this called World Without Truth. So you need to bring your own accuracy. Let's call it your accuracy survival kit. And in it, you'll find formal metrics, which IT uses, like a comparison metric, where you test the AI output against an established norm. Two-factor error checking, which every employee in your organization should do, where you get one AI model to check another. And the good enough ratio. This is a measure of when AI accuracy is just good enough for your initiative. And by the way, good enough might be higher than you think, because we tend to hold AI to higher standards than we hold ourselves.
Another use case, which is a point of interest, AI agents, are at the top of the hype cycle. Currently, 14% of CIOs in Australia report that their organizations are already adopting AI agents. An additional 42% are expecting to adopt them within the next 12 months. But not all agents are created equal. 86% of local IT leaders are focused on conversational agents. Conversational agents are ready for conversations. But if you need them to make decisions, and you should, then conversational agents are not ready. Decisions are necessary for autonomous multi-agent systems. Remember the first time you called a customer support line and they kept running through a script. No matter what you said, they kept doing the same thing. Did you check to see if it's plugged in? Did you restart? Is your monitor turned on? That's what it's like when agents can't make decisions. So evaluate what AI agents can and cannot do. If they cannot do autonomous decision-making, which most cannot, then they're just conversational assistants. Using agents to handle conversations is missing the point. For example, retailers are not looking to conversational agents as the next big AI win. They need something more ambitious than automatically ordering a suit online, or even doing a customer support call. They need agents that can watch what customers are buying, trigger multiple RFPs for replenishment, negotiate terms and conditions, and decide the best offer for their company. That is multiplex B2B negotiation. And conversational agents don't do that. Don't settle for conversations. Demand autonomous decision-making. And AI agents should be able to handle an end-to-end process. For me, I desperately want an agent that builds my slide presentations while I talk to it. That's an agent acting as an expert in graphics design. And what if that agent was an expert that could do building approvals, or do my taxes, or the company's taxes? Agents as experts can create real-world value as long as you're clear about what you need from the technology.
And these technologies aren't cheap, so we have to consider the true costs. The first thing to know is that CFOs are losing track of what is being spent on AI projects. They know the cost on day 1, they don't know the cost on day 100. Here in ANZ, 65% of organizations are barely breaking even or even losing money on their AI investments. And if previous tech introductions had upfront transition costs, AI has a transition mortgage that you just keep paying. Why? Well, when you first implemented ERP, you licensed the software and trained your people on one kind of work. But with AI, the work and the training keeps switching contexts. First, you learn to summarize emails. Then it helps you do data analysis. Then you're creating compelling videos. You use one model before lunch and a different one after. You have to train your people, give them experiential knowledge, connect them with peers, and show them what good looks like. Because most people are just discovering what they can do. They're not being trained on what they should do.
Here's the bill. AI implementation costs average $1.9 million per company. And that's just the bill on day 1. But then you need to invest heavily in AI training and literacy programs. Because for every 100 days of implementation, AI adds 25 more to train staff. And worse yet, change management, that costs another 100 to 200 days. That's up to 200% more effort. Now, next on the bill is ancillary costs. For every AI tool that you buy, there will be 10 ancillary costs that you didn't anticipate. Costs such as managing access credentials for autonomous agents, acquiring new data sets to ground AI, managing multiple models, or packing your accuracy survival kit. There's a hidden transition cost to all of that.
So what do? For every AI tool you buy, anticipate 10 hidden costs. Conduct an analysis and decide which costs you will fund. The last thing you want to be is the unintended owner of a negative ROI business case.
And you still need to select the right AI vendors for your needs. In choosing an ERP vendor, if that was like getting married, then choosing an AI vendor is like getting married, having triplets, and moving to a different country. It's complicated. Just like kids who touch everything with their tiny little hands, AI is touching everything. And here's why. When marrying an AI vendor, their models are like your children. Children that need to be fed the right data to grow, constantly re-educated and grounded, and those children take on your ethics and the ethics of the vendor that you marry. And it's not just about the kids. You do have to pick the right country to move to. In the AI race, those vendors are starting to resemble countries to live in. We call them digital nation states. A digital nation state is a vendor that controls land, power, water, talent, and capital to rival those of actual nations. Large vendors spend more on AI infrastructure per quarter than 47% of the world's annual GDP in countries.
If you are planning a massive rollout of AI to your enterprise, bet on the major hyperscalers. These are players like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Alibaba. They are superpowers, sometimes with government support, and always with massive ecosystems and AI infrastructure. If you want industry-specific use cases, look to the many startups and those who partner with industry leaders. The combination of innovation and domain knowledge comes with access to new markets, customers, and data. And this is more like a developing country.
Bet on wildcard vendors such as OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, DeepSeek, and xAI if you want leading-edge capabilities. They're beginning to enter the enterprise. You should note, however, that they're newly minted nation-states, and their behavior can shake the ground under everyone else. They're fully innovation-ready, but not fully enterprise-ready.
Picking a vendor to marry is hard. So here is an easy button for you. If you're going to select an AI vendor today, you had better select one that is good with AI agents. Gartner is building an agentic compass that matches vendors with your requirements. It learns your use case characteristics, maps them to AI capabilities, and then points you to the AI vendors who can provide them.
So we'll put vendor selection here on the map. But bear with me a moment, because there's one more thing about vendor selection that everyone here should care about, especially government, and that is AI sovereignty. Now, most of you are used to dealing with data sovereignty, but with AI, a lot of data is hidden behind the models. To ensure sovereignty, you can't just protect the data. How do you even know what sovereign data has been trained into a model? You have to protect the model and the results the model generates and who has access to those results. And guess what? You can get locked in to a model. The US, China, and the European Union are all building sovereign AI solutions with proprietary controls and proprietary models that they control. By 2027, 35% of countries will be locked into region-specific AI platforms using proprietary contextual data. What if they cut you off once you're hooked? That's what model lock-in can lead to. So here's what you do. Build, buy, and I don't care, steal it if you have to, a digital tokenization solution to anonymize data so the real data doesn't leave your shores, even inside a model. Like EWS. They own the payments network, Zelle. They're enabling Capital One's DataBolt tokenization platform to protect data and transactions. DataBolt handles anonymizing and de-anonymizing the data they do it for you without you having to manage a bunch of encryption keys. Now, that's not exactly stealing, but you do get financial transactions and data sovereignty protection virtually for free. And also, where contract terms will allow it, mimic the models that you depend on using model distillation. It's a clever way to break model lock-in.
Looking over our map for AI readiness, we can see we're making progress. AI accuracy is not ready, so bring your AI survival accuracy kit. Pivot from conversational agents to decision-making agents, even if that means you have to switch vendors. And invest in AI agents as experts.
The day one AI bill is ready. The day 100 AI bill is not ready. Anticipate the ancillary costs of moving to AI, costs such as managing agent capabilities and multiple models. Don't select vendors solely on technology. Use Gartner's agentic compass to select the right vendors and realize that every vendor selection is a sovereignty decision. So track the rise of digital nation states.
We've just gone through the fog of finding value, which answers the question, can it be done? But now we must ask ourselves, can we capture and sustain that value? I mean, can we do it, and can we keep doing it? And the golden path here is overgrown. It is littered with obstacles which will slow you down. We have to watch every step as we go, and our people alone can be a big obstacle. Now, I live in London, and every Sunday, my partner and I, we love to go on a walk to the farmer's market. and he is always in a rush to get his favorite Portuguese pastry before it runs out. And my short legs are usually the thing standing between him and that pastry. And this is what low human readiness feels like. It feels like, come on, people, hurry up already. If human readiness is low, it will hold you back. In fact, 71% of CIOs and IT leaders report that their people are not ready for AI. Why? Because AI unleashes this toxic mix of a steep learning curve and the primal fear that AI is going to replace us.
Yeah, headlines everywhere are claiming that AI is taking jobs and replacing staff. The Anthropic CEO says AI could wipe out half of all white-collar jobs in the next 5 years. And 60% of CFOs are expecting that they can reduce headcount due to AI. Those kind of statements make it seem like there's an AI jobs bloodbath that's happening. But is that true? We don't see it that way, at least not for the next 5 years. The reality is that only 1% of headcount reductions are directly due to AI today. Let me say that again, only 1%. And through 2028, even if human and AI readiness are both high, only 8,000 jobs will be lost here in Australia. Now yes, people will lose jobs, and that matters to us all, but it's not a bloodbath. What we do see is hiring restraint for junior level workers. Take Mary, a marketing VP. With AI, Mary doesn't spend 5 hours coaching a junior associate on how to build her a presentation deck. Instead, AI drafts the deck, drops in the data, and Mary can polish the draft in 20 minutes. AI is allowing senior staff to easily do the work juniors used to do. So you can use restraint in hiring. That captures value.
Using AI to augment work for people like Mary enhances productivity and it supports cost avoidance. You should do this. But the problem is, we're getting so distracted by headlines about job cuts. You may have recently read the news about Salesforce eliminating 4,000 jobs, and CEO Mark Benioff saying, "I need less heads." Now, what didn't make that headline was that while they are cutting customer support staff, they are also hiring staff to support net new AI revenue streams. That is a talent remix. And it seems like all the big tech providers are doing it. They are taking talent from lower performing business units and moving them to higher potential business lines. Now, unless you're a tech company, their strategy isn't your strategy. Your ability to set up whole new lines of business is limited. So your returns from a talent remix will be limited. Instead, your strategy needs to be a financial remix, which is looking at how AI can cut your backlog, how it can reduce fraud, or how it can grow revenue through human empathy. Like Sanlam, the South African finance company, whose customers ask for loans to pay off rising debt. Sanlam uses AI to empathize with customers and to help them accept the idea of a debt reduction plan instead of taking on a new loan. The value captured here is not from headcount reductions. It's from less bad debt and healthier customers. And guess what? All of you here, especially government, have a human empathy opportunity somewhere in your organizations, but almost none of us are thinking of it as our next big AI opportunity.
So if your CFO keeps asking if AI can cut jobs, tell them that you need a financial remix, not a talent remix. Or you could just Google Gartner and ask us to do it. Alicia and I have these executive conversations all the time. Now, don't get us wrong. Whether you do a talent remix, a financial remix, or you use hiring restraint, it will not completely prevent redundancies. No one has made an easy button for dealing with job loss. And another thing, demographic decline may make it a moot point for some.
Demographically, many countries are on track for labor force stagnation. This is the point when a country's labor force grows below 1% and stays below 1%. There won't be enough people to hire. In the UK, this is happening now. In Australia, this won't happen until 2038. But don't think you can relax just yet. For you, labor force stagnation outside Australia means there will be more jobs outside Australia. Your talent may begin to look elsewhere. Don't make people redundant just because of AI. You might never get them back.
The point here is that the bulk of AI value is not coming from headcount reductions. In fact, AI will create more jobs than it destroys. But one thing no one is talking about is that for all the new jobs that AI will create, many of your people won't have the skills or the desire to fill them. Not all COBOL programmers can become AI engineers, just like not all coal miners can become renewable energy technicians. The best thing you can do for these people is to train them to use AI better so they can get another job, even if it's not with you. Building new skills should be prominent on your radar for all employees, and that's our next point of interest in human readiness.
The thing you need to know about AI skills is they are not like other skills. Most skills are about doing tasks better. AI skills are about making you better, a better motivator, a better thinker, a better communicator. How many times have you used AI to say what you really mean? Or to understand what somebody else meant? I did this recently. In July, an airline lost my luggage for 9 whole days. Now, if you have ever had your luggage lost, you know it's not fun. I had to go buy 9 days worth of outfits, and the airline did not want to pay for that. And I was so busy with Daryl working on this keynote that I didn't have time to write a good email. So I just asked Gemini to do it for me, and I got my money back that day. It helped me say the things that I didn't have time to say.
Gartner knows there are a lot of new AI skills that are needed across the organization. Here is one where you need to pay close attention: context engineering. Context engineering is when you give AI a frame of reference to build a better answer. Now, with search engines, you just type a bunch of words, and it matches those words with results. But with Gen AI, you have to communicate your intent, or it's more likely to hallucinate. Now, we spent the last 2 years telling everybody to learn prompt engineering. But if you want AI to do really sophisticated stuff, you can't put every detail into some giant mega prompt. That turns your prompt into a novel, and that's not very manageable. Context engineering takes all of the constraints, the directions, and contextual cues out of the prompt and puts them into the system. If you're a hospital, that context might be complex drug interactions, patient histories, or surgical protocols. If you're in government, it's district zoning, census records, or tax rolls.
Context clarifies your intent. Like the old miscue. Let's eat, Grandma. If you leave out that comma, it means something totally different. To capture value, focus on AI skills that make people better at doing human stuff, like communicating or understanding. Start hiring context engineers and build a context engineering discipline. This is something we all need. And as AI proliferates, it creates behavioral byproducts. These are unintended changes to human skills, knowledge, and behavior. And it's a key point of interest in human readiness. Currently, 91% of CIOs and IT leaders told us their organization is dedicating little or no time to scanning for behavioral byproducts. Now, remember when you got your first social media account? You might not have asked, what are the behavioral byproducts of having the world's most addictive algorithm on your phone? But now we know. It's a pit of doom scrolling and 3-second attention spans, but now we can't get out of it. That is a behavioral byproduct, and AI is doing the same thing.
For example, is there anyone here who's okay with the idea that they may wake up one day and find they have no one left in the organization who knows how to code. No, it's inconceivable. And yet, it is happening. Now, I've been a coder since I was 13 years ago. I won't say how many hundred years ago that was, but I do know if you don't use your coding skills every day, you are losing coding skills every day. AI is stealing your skills, and it's happening faster than you can imagine. That is skills atrophy. It's a behavioral byproduct that you need to watch out for. Now, some skills you'll be okay to lose. Skills like note-taking, meeting summarization, editing. Other skills you should fight to keep. Don't let your security skills atrophy. Don't let your critical thinking skills atrophy. And you really shouldn't let your surfing skills atrophy. These are things that we care about and we should keep. So institute periodic reviews or testing to make sure critical skills are not being eroded by AI.
Now, some behavioral byproducts will be bad, but some behavioral byproducts will be good, like the rise of the Swiss Army knife worker. These are people who see a problem and have enough curiosity and skill to grab an AI tool and figure out how to solve it. What makes these people special is they know how to use AI, and they can apply it to any given task. It's the loan officer who can do housing valuation, or the finance manager who can turn a month-end close into a 17-syllable haiku.
Revenue steady, margins creak beneath the load, cash whispers caution.
Bet your CFO can't do that. To build these Swiss Army knife workers, you need a modern AI literacy program. If AI literacy in 2023 was about learning the basics, today, AI literacy demands experiential learning. Like with Gen AI simulators that clone personas and mimic business situations. Some companies are exploring Gen AI simulators to replicate client and broker interactions in a gamified 3D world. And one company saw a 71% drop in the failure rate for things like underwriter certification, resulting in senior underwriter output for junior level salaries. Now that's a clear ROI value from AI. And imagine using these simulators to develop your Swiss Army knife workers. So always be on the lookout for behavioral byproducts. They can help you capture value, or they can derail it.
And we've talked about how to capture value through people, but do you have an organization that's ready to sustain AI value? This is a real problem, because as we told you earlier, AI change management costs are high. It's sort of like doing a big remodel. The budget can balloon with bad management. Now, we just finished remodeling our kitchen, and I can tell you it turned out great. See? Here it is. It's all finished, and here comes my son to mess it up. In a remodel, we pay attention to the fun things, like what oven you get, or your new granite countertops. But no one prepares you for crazy, expensive, and downright dangerous stuff that happens. Like when one of the workers ran electrical wires through the same pipe that water runs through. You go to get a drink, bzzzt. It's a good thing the contractor caught it. You're remodeling your organization with AI. Good contractors lead to good remodels. Good managers lead to good AI change. But today, employees are more likely to Google for AI assistance than to ask their manager. Your managers need to deal with crazy stuff but aren't getting a lot of help. You need change management for managers. Like Lenovo, who has manager conversation guides, role-play exercises, and a library of AI value stories for managers, all to make sure that the weight of change doesn't kill value. Without this, your organization won't sustain value, just like you can't sustain cooking dinner in the garage.
Daryl said it. You are remodeling your organization to sustain value. But the DNA of IT in 2030 will be completely different. Today, 81% of IT work is done by humans without AI. By 2030, 75% will be done by humans augmented with AI. And 25% will be done by AI alone. So that means in 2030, 0% of IT work will be done without AI. So what do you do about this? Don't just talk about change as piecemeal shifts. LLM here, agents over there, machine learning in the back. You need to look at how AI will change your entire IT estate.
For example, at your next IT leadership meeting, confront the extra capacity paradox. Because of AI, the capacity of IT will be larger. And that'll be great at first. But you never want to look like you have too many people for the job. If you don't show the value of that extra capacity, you will lose those people. Thus the paradox. So go on the offensive and work with business leaders now to identify new value-enhancing IT work. And we don't mean more IT projects. Expand into new markets, create additional products and services, or add features that boost margins. That will be IT's role, and that will sustain value.
Let's go back to our map. Note that human readiness is low here. To capture value, the talent remix is ready for tech companies. For everyone else, focus on a financial remix. Develop specific skills like context engineering and scan for behavioral byproducts. And to sustain all that value, build change management for managers. And don't take a piecemeal approach to IT in 2030. Consider how it changes your entire IT estate.
Now, okay, we've navigated the obstacles of human readiness and learned how to capture and sustain value. Now, it's time to seek the big value opportunities that lie ahead.
When AI and human readiness are both high, this is where you can transcend your organizational and industry limitations. But not a lot of you are here yet. Today, only 11% of CIOs report both AI technologies and their people are ready. And your opportunity to transcend depends on both. Now, not every use case that falls into this quadrant is going to be transcendent, but transcendence should be your goal.
The value you get here will be in potential, the returns on your future, if you will. And it can lead to some of the largest ROI opportunities available. When both AI and humans are ready, there is the opportunity to create shockwaves. What are the things you'll never have to not know again? What are the things you'll never pay for again? What are the things you'll never have to do again? When we talk about things you'll never not know again, we should consider future knowledge. Every time we pick a stock, or play the lottery, or place a sports bet, we'd all love to know the outcome before it happens. What if AI could tell the future for you? GOSI, a Saudi Arabian government agency that manages pensions and employment insurance, is creating a way for a 20-year-old person to talk to a 60-year-old version of themselves. Now, we've all had that moment where we thought, if only I knew then what I know now. In the GOSI-verse, you can. GOSI knows information like marital status, compensation, retirement contributions, and you could ask it questions. Hey, future self, how should I save for retirement? How do I plan for 3 kids and a house? How do I retire at 39? Now, before you get too excited, AI cannot tell the outcome of the AFL Grand Final before it happens. Adelaide Crows. But when it comes to customer buying behavior, supply chain disruptions, or even possible mergers and acquisitions, AI is your personal Nostradamus. Knowing things you couldn't know before can uncover valuable assets hidden in the data you already have.
Our advice? Predicting the future is cool, but don't start there to get future value. Start with something much more immediate, like the brain drain problem. You all have someone whose upcoming retirement sends a chill down your spine. Like Lucy, your last COBOL programmer. What if Lucy can retire, but her knowledge doesn't? Knowledge management systems have always allowed us to keep corporate knowledge, but now AI lets you keep personal knowledge. So here's your AI hack. Train AI on the code reviews, meeting recordings, and chat logs of Lucy to keep her personal knowledge even when she's gone. And what you get out of that is an AI assistant that can answer questions the way Lucy could. Consider consulting firm Wtgptv. They have created AI twins of key employees. Gartner is even doing it. Say hello to AI Daryl.
Hi, Gold Coast. Hi, Alicia, and my other brother, Daryl. As an AI avatar, I can represent Gartner insights in over 70 languages. Like Mandarin.
欢迎参加 IT 研讨会.
He can't do that. Imagine the day when there's 1,000 of me and only one of him. See you soon.
Of course, he's nowhere near as handsome as the real thing. But the point is this. That type of avatar is in your near future. The goal of AI Me is to present ideas the way I might, even when I am not available. What happens when dozens of clones of you start showing up at work? Are you ready for that shockwave? And here's another. What are the things you'll never have to pay for again? Which of your revenue streams will go the way of paying for hotel Wi-Fi? In the next 3 years, we expect the revenue for translation services, basic legal services, and video or image editing will be forced to zero. No one will pay for them again. You need to begin creating a list now of your at-risk revenue streams. That's a shockwave that you want to prepare for.
Now, our last shockwave is a big one. When thinking about things you'll never have to do again, we have to look at how change happens. There is a gradual nature to the change that AI brings. It sneaks up on you. One day, we will wake up and find the world a lot different than it was.
Compare Star Trek to Blade Runner. In Star Trek, the Earth cities were all brand spanking new, with everyone in flying cars or living in the clouds. But in Blade Runner, people still walk around in weathered old cities with holographic humans and realistic androids. Blade Runner is a more likely future. That is a more gradual change because we don't tear down and replace what is already there. We just add tech around the edges.
Today, the thing being added around the edges is AI automation and the intelligence that it brings. For example, tech vendor Pactum has an AI negotiation platform to negotiate B2B agreements for large retailers. And retailers can negotiate for things like goods not sold. These are things like shopping trolleys, safety supplies, and lighting. And with AI automation, they can negotiate equally with large and small suppliers in great numbers. And it's actually helping big box retailers build stronger relationship with smaller suppliers who now feel seen and heard, even though it was just AI that was negotiating with them. Eventually, the thing they'll never have to do again, B2B contract negotiation.
One day you will wake up to find AI autonomously negotiating dozens of supplier agreements based on real-time market conditions. Those agreements will be living contracts that change at the speed of AI. They're called smart contracts. And you need a smart contracts manager to manage the results. Imagine dozens of AI agents negotiating with dozens of shopping trolley suppliers simultaneously to win one shopping trolley contract. Remember when we mentioned multiplex B2B negotiation? Well, this is it. And without someone to oversee it, AI might buy your business too many rickety shopping trolleys with wobbly wheels. The more autonomous contract negotiation you do, the more intelligent automation you do, the more your business becomes autonomous. Like Rio Tinto's fully autonomous mine in the Pilbara, or the Sagu Bagu Autonomous Farming Initiative in India. Autonomous business is no longer just a future view. It's already happening, and you can hear more about it this week.
Let's recap. When AI and humans are both ready, you can transcend where you are today. So prepare for AI's shockwaves by using AI to leverage knowledge in new ways. Have a position on the revenue streams that AI will put at risk. And as business becomes more autonomous, hire smart contract managers. Okay, let's bring it all together and retrace our path. We are going to give you everything, but you don't need to do everything, at least not all at once. To find, capture, and sustain value, you have to get both AI and humans ready.
If your AI isn't ready, bring your accuracy survival kit. Understand the AI transitional costs. Press the easy button with Gartner's Agentic Compass, and do not ignore AI sovereignty.
If humans aren't ready, do a financial remix. Cultivate new skills like context engineering and Swiss Army knife workers. Scan for behavioral byproducts like skills atrophy. Do change management for managers. And put IT in 2030 on your next leadership agenda.
Everyone should aim to transcend their limitations and be prepared for AI shockwaves. Seek a financial return on knowledge. Stop investing in revenue streams that will be forced to zero, and get ready for autonomous business. The Crossroads invites you to go beyond, to transcend your limitations and the limitations of AI, because what has gotten you here won't get you there.
The golden path isn't easy, but walking it might be one of the most rewarding times in your career. Elevate your perspective to find, capture, and sustain value.
Soar beyond what you thought was possible.
Go and be agents of change.
Thank you, and enjoy IT Symposium.